how to organize your December, January, February offers without overwhelm. So this is something that I actually just created for one of my clients. And then I went, hang on a second, this would actually be really helpful for the group. And so I want to share with you how I created a plan to help her out with her December, January, February plan. And then I went, actually, I'm going to turn this into something to share with the members as well, because I know that so many people are in a weird place in December and January. So we talked in the group about Black Friday. I know that there are many of you who are kind of starting to wind down as well. And I know there's also some of you who are not in that place yet. So no matter what you're doing, first of all, just do what feels right for you. But if you are sort of starting to think about, I don't want to start January kind of from zero on the 1st of January, I want to have a plan. I want to have something that I'm leading into. Maybe you are pre-selling something now in advance so that you can start January with a bit of momentum. It's so important that you do what's right for you, first of all. But in case you do want to do a little bit in the next few weeks in the lead up to the end of the year, the holidays, and then leading into January, I put this together and I'm actually, because I'm a bit extra, I decided to kind of turn it into a little bit of a mini course that I will be putting into the common room next week. This is a bit of a plan, but a really kind of light and gentle one. So it's not going to like full on launch mode now. And I'm just going to go through this quickly so that you can get an idea, if you're watching this, as to whether this is actually something you have the capacity for at this time of year. And then also if there's something that you can do to customize this so that it will work for you and your offers. So December, January requires a very different strategy for a number of reasons. My client that I created this for is in the fitness space. And so I know from the years that we had a gym that December is the quietest month of the year, because especially by this point, people are in holiday mode. They're starting to wind down at work. The kids are starting to go on holiday. There are lots of family commitments. There are Christmas parties. There is shopping and all of the things going on. And people are really winding down towards the end of the year. And then January becomes then the biggest month of the year in the fitness space. And so whether that is seasonal and correct for your industry as well, it's going to be different, but it is still thinking about December and January very differently from other points of the year. In Australia, it is also our summer holidays, so we do have a little bit of extra kind of holiday season to contest with as well. And this is something that I thought might just be helpful for you in case you are just going, what am I even supposed to be doing right now? So December can feel messy because of the end of year stuff, the impending family and social commitments and things. Obviously, we've just come off the back of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of lead up. And I don't know about anyone else, but it just lasted the whole of November, it felt. And attention and urgency can plummet in December because of all of these things. It feels like kind of a bit of a black hole month where it's like, oh, should I be selling this close to the end of the year? And the answer is, if you have something planned already at this point, do what feels good for you. I know that it is absolutely possible to make money, to pre-sell, to launch something in December and do quite well with it. I think last year I had like a $16,000 week by pre-selling my one-on-ones for coming into the new year. So it's absolutely possible, but what we need to think about is like, do I have the capacity to put something together right now and actually do that? So we want to think about where we're at for ourselves personally and where our audience is at as well. We want to actually know that in Australia in particular, January is not necessarily commitment month. It starts to pick up towards the end of the month, but it's also still the holidays, the summer holidays for a lot of people in January. And really February is kind of where it all starts to pick up. I do know it is a very cold month for most places in the Northern Hemisphere. So it could be as well that February starts to be the real new year for your business too. And what we want to do is find a balance for ourselves, not in what is the, should I be doing nothing and just kind of let that be the end of the year? And I always say, hey, the year's not done yet. Anything can happen. We've still got a few weeks to go. But it is so important that you are really checking in with yourself and what it is that you have the capacity for right now to make the decision of, am I going to just start to wind things down now? or do I have the capacity to start kind of planting seeds for next year? So here is kind of, I put together just a really simple plan. So for phase one, this is our warmth, prep, and pre-sale phase. If you're in launch mode now, then completely ignore this. If you know that it works for you at this time of year to be in a full-on launch, that is absolutely fine. But if you are not prepared yet and you haven't put anything together, this is thinking about your light content. It is your nurture time, your warm-up time, maybe some gentle visibility, sharing your behind the scenes, and soft invitations to things like your freebie for your pre-sale or an early bird offer that you might have for people who want to start in January. A lot of people are not necessarily wanting to start things this month, but they may want to be prepared so that next month they are ready to go and they're not starting to think about it then. Plus, if they can get a special offer or a special bonus or an early bird price or an introductory price before the end of the year, that gives them that extra incentive to join now. This can look like things like doing audits or one-off sessions, offering your longer term sessions or series to people, like a coaching series or a program. Again, if you're doing group programs and things, you might be in the enrolling stage to start in January, but maybe you have an early bird price available for now for people who say yes before the end of the year. You might be building a wait list for something that's launching early in the new year. And the other thing you want to think about is looking at your first your organic content and then also things like your paid ads. I know a lot of people who were running ads in the last couple of weeks saw a big spike in the costs, and that is just because so many more brands are advertising around Black Friday, and so that does just lead to more expensive ads. And so really having a look at that, if you've got less money coming in through December, you may want to turn off those more expensive ads and just kind of slow things down a little bit, really coming into the new year. But you want to make a decision that is based off you and your budget as well. Phase two in January, we are looking at our reboot, reactivation, and building a bit of a rhythm. So this could be something like a low effort challenge, a reset, or an activation. If you are taking a break, say in December, from your normal content drops in your membership or community, it might be that you have something special planned for January. And really keeping it simple, because again, people are easing into the year. So this might be something like micro daily prompts. You're like building up engagement in your space again, because people have maybe taken a step back. Maybe you've taken some time off. I take a couple of weeks off where I don't do calls over the holidays. And so you're really wanting to rebuild that engagement and consistency back up. And then maybe you have pre-sold something in December that you then want to deliver. So you're running your one-off sessions. Maybe you've got some audits or some feedback and reviews and things that you offered at a special price in December that you're then delivering in January, and warming people up for the next step, which is more of a proper launch. So launching your paid offer, something that has a clear outcome, a defined start date, a strong invitation. And this is kind of across all niches, but definitely in the fitness and the business space, that February is kind of like a big month where people are like, okay, I'm back into the swing of things again. So let me know if you're what you're planning on doing. I would love to know if you're here. Designing your holiday offer flow. So if you decide that this is something that you do want to start focusing on in the next couple of weeks, here is a bit of a plug and play structure for your specific offers to know what you're focusing on each month based on your capacity and your availability. And this is something that I just did with one of my clients. So list everything that you could offer. If you haven't got a specific or clear offer yet, just come up with as many different things as you can. This could be a membership, coaching, a challenge, a digital download, an audit, a workshop, a one-on-one session, WhatsApp support, anything at all that you can think of. And then categorize them by energy level in terms of how much effort they're going to take to launch and then deliver as well. One-off sessions and things like that are really good. I've been talking to a couple of the Emerge and Expand members about kind of having a lower priced one-off session that then leads people into a longer term series or experience but they kind of have that really easy entry point. Then step 3 is you want to assign the offers to the correct phase. And this is something I've been thinking about so much because the Focus Flow Challenge was perfect for where I'm at this time of year because of my life circumstances and things. But what I realized when I was doing my review the other week is that it was not necessarily the time that people are really focusing on building momentum as we're coming towards the end of the year. Just me. That's just maybe a me thing. So really thinking about like the phase that you're in and your audience is in, and making sure that what you're offering and the way that you're communicating is specific to where your people are at. So in December, we want lower energy, lower commitment, more thinking about preparing people for the year ahead. And even though the difference between the 31st of December and the 1st of January is just one day, like it's really not that big of a difference. Energetically and in our minds, we all think of it as a clean slate. And so it is a perfect opportunity to really connect with your people when they're in that place by speaking to them in the language that they are using or thinking of. They are thinking about having a fresh start of getting their goals and actually achieving them this year. And so we can talk as much as we want about like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just another day. But the reality is that's not how most of us function. We work in this cyclical, seasonal way. And so we do think of January as a fresh start. In January, we want to ease people back in with some small wins and activating them, bringing them back into the group, getting them back into thinking about what they want this year, and then building that structure for February for the people who are ready to take that next step. So your bridge offer is something that you may want to launch in December if that's something that you currently have the capacity for. It can also lead into early January as well, where again, usually at least for the first 2 weeks in Australia, people are on holiday mode still. And so we tend to see things start to pick up at the end of January. And so you might find that even if you put something out this month and it's not quite ready or it's not quite right and people don't move forward with it or take you up on it, that there's then still an opportunity in early January to also offer that as well. So your bridge offer is again those one-off sessions, those really easy to deliver but more personalized or customized plans that you can pre-sell in December, deliver in January, and then invite people to take the next step into a bigger program or offer with you in February. And it kind of gives you a path of, instead of just shotgun approach trying to sell your main offer to every single person that you come into contact with, what you're almost doing is you're creating this bridge for people who are ready to take the next step, but with a really low commitment offer like an audit or a one-off session. And then part 4 is your messaging, your content. And I've created for you a little outline for a 60-second monthly plan. So what to say, when to say it, and how to keep it simple in the lead up to the holidays, how to reactivate and transition in January, February without feeling pushy or just completely disappearing and then popping back up in February. So in December, we want our messaging to be the small wins, the future you prep. So thinking about reflecting on the year that's just been, and then starting to think about the year ahead as well. What worked well this year? What do you want to bring with you? What would you like to do differently? Where would you like to be in this time next year? And that is where people are at naturally. So we're really just rolling with the rhythm of where people are at. Finishing the year gently, softly, instead of push, 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 we're actually going to lean into like a little bit of the, what if you did it differently? What if it didn't have to be stressful and hectic and chaotic? And sharing a bit of what you're doing behind the scenes. So for example, my client who's in the fitness space, one thing that I recommended was to actually share what is her holiday fitness routine. How does she maintain a level of consistency without kind of ruining the fun of the season, but also so it's not like completely stopping for 3 weeks and then it hurts so much to get back into it. It's so much harder. And so it's almost sharing a little bit of that, not from a place of trying to make people feel guilty, but to actually share, this is how I manage it so that I'm not completely stopping all my habits and then trying to get that ball rolling again. It's so much easier when you just even have a maintenance mode happening. So sharing a little bit of those behind the scenes, and then talking about things like your pre-sale, your early bird, your wait list, your one-off session, your bridge offers as well, so that again, people are in the thinking mode, but they're not in implementation mode in December necessarily. In January, the messaging is that encouraging low stakes, rhythm focused. So, again, focusing on micro actions, re entry. What is it that you'd love to see this year? What have you been doing that you would like to continue on or pick back up that you maybe let go over the holidays? So, again, it's just the freshness of the new year and that fresh slate that everybody feels, even if it's not real. It's something that we collectively just agree upon, right? And that might be where you're hosting a free event like a workshop or a challenge. You are maybe doing check-ins with people, and that might even be in a personal kind of way. One of my members in Emerge and Expand has been doing some astrology sessions, and we were talking about how from the one-off session, how she could send personalized video or voice messages to the 20 people who took those sessions to invite them into something new in the new year as well. So like, how can we keep it personal? How can we keep it gentle, but also just like checking in, delivering on those sessions and things that we pre-sold in December as well, and then also making those available to anyone who wasn't in that headspace back in December, that we can then still make that available if we have the capacity for it. And then moving into February, that is maybe a little bit more structured because people are ready to go. So we're talking more about a clear transformation, a certain commitment into a program, or joining the membership or a mastermind or a one-on-one series because they're looking for a specific outcome. So these are themes around clarity, commitment, accountability, and really thinking about it from a place of like, we're building up to it. We're not just launching this thing in February and then saying, oh, well, you know, it came from nowhere, it disappeared for 3 months, now buy this high-end thing. We're actually been kind of just creating a bit of a flow for people to then be able to step into that offer if they're ready for that next step. And then lastly, I just want to touch on a really quick 60-second plan that you can implement if this feels really good for you and you want to just do one last little thing before the end of the year. And keeping a 60-second plan so that we're not overthinking it, we're not trying to create something brand new, keeping it really light, really simple. What is my December warming action? So maybe you're going to have a special offer for people who join your membership. One of the best that I have ever done, that I've had the most success with, was having Emerge and Expand, that if people joined in December, they would get January for free. And so that helped with the objection of, oh, well, I'm going to be away, so I'm not really going to be able to get involved. And it's like, hey, you just pay for 1 month and you get both months anyway. So if you join now, you can basically, you don't start paying again until February. That works really well. Having a special offer last year for my one-on-one coming into the new year, they actually work really, really well. And again, you don't have to do that much. You might just be sharing a bit of your behind the scenes in December and preparing people for what's coming in January. What is my January activation experience? So is it a free training or workshop, something to just bring people back in and thinking about the year and you as being someone who can help them with that goal or thing that they want to do? What is my February paid offer? And what is my one call to action this week or even this month that you're going to use to just help to build up that group of people who are even starting to think about it now? And this is a question that you can ask yourself for the whole season. What is the lowest energy way that I can show up today? So I hope that that gives you something to think about. I will have a very mini training coming up in the group next week that is going to help anyone who wants to implement this with some templates and things that will just make it quicker for you to get something up and running so that you're not overthinking it, not working all the way down to the wire, and you've got something really simple that you can put out. But if you have any questions or anything about how you can make it work for you as well, let's talk about that in the group too.